Hello, my name is TroyBerry Jr., and this video is for the pastor's role in church administration, taught by Julie Nance. Today's date is 12/9/2019, and this assignment is Can conflict ever be positive? As most can say that even when you try to overcome problems together as a whole, there are always people against the law and what you preach. But if an agreement is given, it all can be solved. People can treat you any kind of way if you let them. This is called interpersonal conflict from Berkeley, saying that someone will talk about moments that do not agree or come in together as a lesson, thinking of personal parts as problems of life from the pastor trying to bring them down in faith. Substantive conflicts can be positive in different ways because of the fact that it is for goals of the church as a roof over the head of the church or providing clothes for the poor. This can be hard decisions. Methods can be confronted if it does not go as someone would want, but a church has to stand first over supporting the others in the community. If it cannot stand on its own, neither will it stand for the others that are in need of help from the church. If there is no roof for the church, how can the church give clothes to the needy but have leaks in the roof? The church must have agreements on keeping the church alive. Could this be self-serving conflicts, helping the pastor instead of helping others? The point of Christ's dear moments was to serve, but could the new roof be considered to benefit the pastor and not the congregation or community? Resources become conflicts when one does not have the money for personal attires, food, clothes, and shelter. Most will doubt that the church does not have enough funds for the projects. The church and pastor have to look at all situations and learn how to survive to pass them. Assessing conflicts can be a good lesson to be the hope of the community, finding what can be used for the problems of the poor and the church. A good decision can be made by hiring people who thrive for goodness. People are able to handle all kinds of conflicts when properly taught. Showing facts of the situations, consider all the facts, list the options, and pick out the ones not needed, and develop what nearly resolves the conflicts. From Berkeley, pastors must be the problem solvers, not refusing or having denial of any situation. The church must instruct, encourage, edify, condemn, and also envision the goals of the church as a whole. From Berkeley, pastors are to be trained for long suffering and the ability to be compassionate and always meaningful to others in the church. Hiring a facilitator that will adapt the church conflicts to compromise with competing factors. A pastor must be able to conceal the problems, showing that the church will not fail. Always having a positive personality to always bring the church up out of the ground and into the eyes. Being optimistic will show the congregation how the church can move if it is directed correctly. A pastor must limit the conflicts being held to commit a problem, making it much smoother than breaking the church on ice. Providing visual information that the church should be able to understand by keeping a journal of what has worked for the congregation and what has not, and can be important at times when pastors are in need of help for keeping the church together. Operations is terms of strengths, being able to make the rent for the church and spiritual help for others from individual homes. Mediation is developing ground rules being confidential, making decisions that will show benefits of both sides of the conversation conflict. Pastors' conflict or the Christians should never be a should I leave question in their minds. God knows what is needed for the church and for the pastor. Remembering what was taught in order to fix problems at the church that is necessary task at the moment. There should never be a thought to leave the church, but to remain and solve issues. Confusion can be in an emerging church from Berkeley, making situations able to know what is going on and what is going to happen in the church. Emerging churches should healthily correct problems in the congregation, knowing what is to come in the relationship and community of the church as strengths. It is noticeably that the church is not responsible for giving jobs, but only to the professionals in religious studies. The emerging church pastor will not say his fears for the greater good because its words will never be heard. The congregation knows that this can only be handled by educated professionals. The church tasks are to inspire making members and making disciples of Christ. The church is there for specific reasons, and the number one is to provide civil religion for the entire state. The second is to preserve and promote moral goals. The third is to provide a living for incoming pastors fresh from college. Fourth, to promote an earnest living of satisfaction from God until in the church. Civil religion is a way of saying that I want to go back to this kind of time period, mostly after something that has happened wrong, such as slavery or racism. Social values are letting someone from another field as someone political, choosing the arrangements members' satisfaction would be to say the church provides all of the needs a Christian were to have in whatever time period. To have helped the church, Christians are to let go of time and learn to accept what can be provided in their time of need, whether it is for a day or by the year. The church is to answer the deeper questions that Christians hold, not minimizing them but making them larger through Christ, making it a complete purpose. God is transforming the time period today by helping all people of any kind. References from Berkeley J. Year 2007 Leadership Handbook of Management and Administration, Grand Rapids, M.I. Baker Books.